Is Yorkshire ready for AI? That's what I like to hear. Very good, very good. Thank you so much. Firstly, big congratulations to Adventures, bringing this amount of people in a room on a day like this. Nothing wrong with the day, but it's a commendable task. So thank you so much for Adventure to hosting this and talking about growth. And I think AI is the topic that is tip of everyone's tongue. And what a wonderful technology that adds amazing growth to any businesses. So just to set the scene, thank you, Kate, for asking the question, how many of you are using AI? But the question I'm interested in is, how many of you have doubts about AI? So please raise your hand. Okay, that's the audience we need to convince. Okay, so without any further ado, let's start. Now, first thing first, we got amazing, experts, panelists, and leaders from our region here. So I would like if you all could kindly introduce yourself, and not just a simple introduction, but I want to talk about how AI has added value and impact in your own business and in your own journey, so that we can make AI real for everyone in the room. Is that okay? So Tom, do you want to start?
Hi everyone, my name is Tom Howson. I'm the founder of VidPlay. It's a content creation platform with content crafted by creatives, powered by automation and AI, and also perfected by data. So we're aiming to make it more cost effective for businesses to understand how their market performs, but also make better marketing. And the way AI has transformed my business has been that I'm able to process large amounts of creative and performance data quickly and effectively. So it means that businesses like yourself, small, medium-sized businesses, can analyze and see what works and doesn't work for your brand. And I often think that gets overlooked a lot of the time. I've worked agency side, and I've also worked internally at Asda. And it was really hard to get that combination of performance data with creative data. Often it gets lost in the briefing process and all that side of things. So we're building a platform that enables businesses to quickly and effectively make content, but also understand what works and doesn't work for their business. So yeah.
Thank you, Tom. Alex?
Thank you very much. My name is Alex. I'm the founder of Worth AI. We are an AI enablement business. So we help small businesses enable AI with their people first and teams, looking at processes, looking at simplifying, looking for the low-hanging fruit, using AI intelligence and kind of automations. And we do some training and consultancy work. So the power of AI for me allows me, as business owners in the room, we have to wear lots and lots of hats. So this year, a real success story for me has been around building myself kind of AI workers. So looking for gaps within my business where I need help, decision making, whether it's financial planning, marketing, strategy, that kind of thing. And then having this amazing technology to then be able to kind of create this worker that's trained and intelligent on the areas that I need help with. And that has enabled me to not only help businesses, but to kind of grow myself, fill in gaps, and accelerate my growth and make me more kind of productive, sort of wearing all these hats. So that's my kind of journey.
Thank you, Alex.
I'm Rachel Swan. I'm not the Chief Constable of Derbyshire, if you Google me, just to put that out there. I am a middle-class woman of a certain age, according to a former TV presenter. And AI, I think, has really kind of made the last 20 years of my career in tech relevant, if I'm honest. And it's given me, I'm on HRT, I don't mind telling people, I now have my brain back. And before that, I was spending far too much time automating and trying to automate things and do processing and analytics. And HRT has helped alongside AI, frankly. And I would say anybody in the room who isn't on HRT, male, female, I go for it. But AI around that automation, around that whole piece of analysis, it's allowing me to use my active brain again. So mundane tasks, data analysis. And the other side, in terms of businesses I work with, it's been around predictions. And I think that has transformed things as well, opening up the future. So who cares what happened yesterday? Who cares what happens today? They're all important, as long as we can then impact tomorrow. And that, I think, is also where AI is transforming businesses of any size.
Brilliant. Thank you, Rachel. I forgot to introduce myself. So I'm Sherry Matthew. I'm the founder and CEO of AI Tech UK. We are involved in the West Yorkshire's Good Growth Programme. So AI Tech UK specializes in three things. One is training, business support, and AI governance. Now, what we have seen, the value of AI by running some of these programs for the last 6 years is businesses are seeing up to 30% business growth by using some of the AI applications that we just heard here. Now, if you're business leaders, just imagine your EBITDA, multiply that by the percentage that I just mentioned. But the minimum percentage growth that we see by adopting AI, from operational efficiency to supply chain optimization to improving customer engagement, as Tom mentioned, that's significant. On an average, it's 10%. So if you have to take away something from today or from today's session, the value is minimum 10% growth to your business. But there are some businesses who've seen, just by single application, 30% business growth. So that's the value and impact of AI. This leads into a very interesting question. What's the secret? What's the secret of AI success? So what has worked for you? So Tom, because you're a founder already using this, let's start with you, if that's okay.
So what's worked for me has been literally being specific about what I want stuff to do. At first, I was trying to make it do too many things at once. And if any of you have tried writing prompts, you'll understand that trying to get it to do a million things just isn't going to work. So what you need to do really is be really specific about what you're trying to achieve with your AI. So at first, I was trying to get it to make really cool headlines for adverts. And I was trying to get it to do also CTAs and all sorts all at once. But actually, what I need to do is write a prompt that just does headlines, that just does CTAs, that then specifically says how many words should be in this. So it's all about being really specific. Otherwise, you just end up with beige, is how I like to describe it. So definitely be specific of what you're doing. And then another factor that I would pull in from my previous experience at working at agency side would be take people on the journey. Don't not take people on the journey with you. A lot of people can be scared of AI, and I think as in the creative industry, we think it might take all our jobs. So it's really taking people on that journey and people understand that it's a tool to be used and not a tool to replace. So yeah.
What's worked for me is, I think in the beginning, I mean, ChatGPT's second birthday was on the 30th of November, I think. So 2 years old. So staying curious. I remember seeing it when it kind of first came out and thought, wow, this is a powerful piece of kit that's going to change a lot. Didn't quite have a grasp then as to how much it's changed in the journey that, you know, the headline AI. There are lots of other models around from Google and Anthropic and so on, but ChatGPT being the hero one, it's really kind of hit the headline. So I was curious then, and I remain curious now as to what the possibilities and the capabilities are. And just kind of asking that question and figuring out, well, what could I do with this safely? Yes, of course, being aware of the risks, the bias, the hallucinations, the inaccuracies. I mean, the data was trained on internet data from human beings, and unfortunately, human beings, you know, we have inherent bias. So that's kind of why it's translated. So to being aware of that whilst being curious has helped me kind of understand the capabilities and possibilities, not just for myself and helping me run my business and wearing these different hats, but then also to kind of help others and other businesses kind of start somewhere. The second thing I'll probably mention is keeping it simple. So looking for simple things that I could fix, or simple things that I could get an AI model to generate. I went down the same route as Tom here. You think, oh my, it can do this, and you write these huge prompts and trying to get this, you know, trying to get to the end of the journey far too quickly rather than breaking it down into steps and stages. So keeping things simple, one step at a time, getting a little win, thinking where you can iterate that. How do I then build on that? And kind of chaining these workflows little bit, every step at a time. So I think that has been really valuable from a journey point of view.
Thank you, Alex. Rachel, do you want to add anything?
Just more of what you've said, but I think fundamentally it's going back to the why. Why was I using it? What was I looking to achieve? So keeping real focus. I think we all have the possibility of being overly seduced by AI and thinking, as you said, Tom, it can do everything. So for me, it was after I'd spent 2 days going down various rabbit holes with Gemini and ChatGPT and, you know, actually, shit, what am I doing? I only need it to do X. And then coming back to it. So it's that clarity of focus, I think, for me.
Thank you so much, Rachel. And I don't know how many of you know this stats by Gartner. 85% of AI projects fail. And that's a scary stat. And you're hearing some success stories from here. I worked on so many projects in the past 6 years, and there is a recipe for, success with AI transformation. And I often say it's like everyone wants to drive this fancy new AI car, but no one's even been for a driving lesson. They haven't got an insurance, and they haven't got an MOT. So that's the problem we're facing today. So people rush and race, end up driving rogue, and risk their reputation. So let's address some of these, fear factors that and some hands were raised earlier. So how can we overcome this fear? There are failures on the AI journey as part of any transformation journey. But I think just hearing from you, what did you do specifically to overcome this failure?
So for me, like my biggest failure that I've had so far when I've been building my platform has been, it sounds ridiculous, but word count. So obviously you don't want super long headlines, you don't want super long CTAs, you want to be direct to the point with your marketing, and you want to be like really direct with your customers. And actually what it was churning out was just really long sentences. And it's probably taken me about 2 or 3 months of iterations, and that's the biggest thing for me, is iterating. So if you fail, it's not a problem, you just learn that doesn't work. So that continuing iterations, save all your prompts from your previous past that you've been developing, because actually you can look back and say, oh, this one did this one did that, this one did that. Actually, maybe I'll take a little bit out of that one, a little bit out of that one. So for me, it's been the iteration process to really get to what you want it to do. And it's never going to do the same thing for everybody. And you'll probably find you'll get random results that you did not expect. But you've just got to try and fail. And that's the gist of it, really.
Take the leap of faith, iterate, fail, and succeed. Like it.
Failure, Tom alluded to it earlier, trying to do too much, trying to fix the whole problem in one prompt or one sitting. So being specific and starting small as to where I want to start and what I want to fix, and then, as Tom said quite rightly, iteration. I spend a lot of time iterating flows and workflows and outputs from Gen AI for myself and for clients. And I think the other thing I mentioned here is data. I see a lot of people using ChatGPT like Google, like a search engine almost, but when the real magic is making sure that the data that you're putting in, you put crap into it, I guess you get rubbish out. So training it on data that's specific. So I mentioned AI workers, you've got a job role. I would go and resource that, put some data in, and get much better responses with better prompting and clean, relevant data to help me get the results I'm looking for.
Thanks, Alex.
I'm going to talk about why projects fail, if that's okay. Yeah. And I've got a list, because my brain. It goes back to what you were saying. Data is not being fit for purpose and it's incomplete. I've seen, and I've done it myself, you've put in the incorrect data to get a specific answer, and you don't have the relevant data. So focus, relevance. Big question around whether actually you need AI, or actually would you be better off with machine learning? In the days of when we were all going out for investment a couple of years ago, if you didn't talk about AI, then you weren't going to get investment. Now there's a bit of Kevin and Perry eye rolling if you do talk about AI. And there's this AI washing. So is it actually really AI or machine learning? What do you need and what's the difference? Scalability. Doesn't matter even if it's your own LLM, large language model. Just because one model works doesn't necessarily mean that all the other models are then going to work. So it's that iteration and reiteration, but to what end, what outcome? And then a really big one is the underestimation of the skill set that you need and the underestimation of the cost. So you need really good data, really good data. It doesn't have to be fully complete. There are some excellent companies out there like Tuber in South Yorkshire who do stuff with incomplete data. But the better the data, the better the output. But the better the data analyst you have up front, it's that PPP, isn't it? Perfect preparation prevents poor performance. So the more time you spend up front, the better your output is going to be. And then that ongoing learning. And then the cost. It ain't cheap. And we all think it's free. But it's going to start costing us an awful lot more fairly soon. And I've seen a couple of businesses really underestimate the costs for their hosting and their AI costs. And that's had a massive impact on the bottom line, particularly if they're an AI-based business. Having said that, it's great. So.
No, thank you, Rachel. And I totally agree. And what I've seen in my last 20 years of being in the tech space is often businesses, when they start the AI journey, they don't know what AI can do for them. So that's first biggest hurdle. So in my opinion, knowledge, leadership, strategy, which is pretty much the first hurdle that you should solve, and knowing what is the art of possible of AI for your business or your challenges, how you turn your challenges into solution. The next thing is, once you know what to do, how do you manage this? It's like, there is a car, but you haven't been to a driving school, so you don't know how to drive. Knowing in theory is totally different to actually driving this car safely. So managing AI transformation is a whole new level of expertise or excellence that you need, or capability that you need in your business. Last thing where I see most of the businesses failing is governance, compliance, ethics, sustainability. It gets brushed under the carpet. Now, one thing is, if you're a sustainable, ethical, compliant business, the chances of you retaining your customers and loyalty is quite high. You're going to save plenty in penalties and the overhead cost of fixing things after audit, because it takes a lot of effort to fix your model and your software and your architecture once you realize it's gone in at the wrong place doing the wrong things. So the cost of fixing is way far higher than the cost of doing it proactively. And that leads nicely into the last point, which is, how can we adopt AI safely? Anyone wants to go first?
Use experts. I'm no AI expert. These guys are. I work with businesses that use AI, but I'd say it's using expertise, whether it's bringing it in, and it's being curious. So I have 3 kind of traits which I think are fundamental for businesses and entrepreneurs: curiosity, courage, and coachability. You've got to continue asking questions. The minute you stop asking questions, you become complacent. You've got to have the courage, though, to ask the questions you don't know. Or you may not want the answers to. So actually, I don't know what I'm doing. Do I know somebody who does? And just in this room, there's going to be loads and loads of AI experts. And then the coachability, you want to learn, because we need to keep learning ourselves, but then you can also then coach your colleagues and clients. So for me, it comes back down to that focus. Why am I doing it? What do I want? What is the real outcome I'm looking for? And why? Is it going to impact on the bottom line? Because we're all here to make money. And then how do I implement it?